Hi there. Welcome back to Sending Ravens. How's everybody doing? I'm doing good. I wanted to look at the whole idea of vaccines. So even saying that word may get me in trouble. So I'm going to use the word the V. So whenever I mean, the cure for the illness or the supposed cure for this pandemic illness, right? And if you've been following anything I do, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to use the word the V. Okay, so that's how we're going to deal with this because I'm not going to say that word again on the video. Okay, so a lot of people are asking, is there going to be mandatory the V? Is there already one like that? That's a miraculous miracle if there is. I mean, unless they've been working on it for years because this was all a plan, right? Which is a big possibility. So let's just look all around sort of what's planned there. And I know my audience watches from all over the world. So it's going to be kind of general because I'm talking to people from all over the world. So bear with me and we'll see if we can get a look at generally what the world can expect, because this is something that's affected the entire world. And yeah, let's just see if this is sort of been nipped in the bud. Some people say it has. So if you watch the Charlie Ward channel, I like watching his channel because it's so optimistic that I almost forget the troubles, right? And I'm normally an optimistic person, but this whole locking down the whole world thing, ever since 2020 started, I don't know, man. Even my optimism is shook a little, right? Yeah, but let's just look around the idea of, let's just go with mandatory the V. Is that going to be a thing? Is that already like set in motion? Is there any way to stop it? Questions like that. We'll just start and just look around. What do we got? Okay. So I put us on this side. We're represented as the tower, which makes sense because we've all been towered with this thing came right out of the blue. I mean, a lot of people did seem to know about it, but they were all like politicians and elites and Bill Gates crew, those types. They all seem to know about it, but sort of general folks and the rest of us in the whole world didn't really. And so we're the tower. So that makes sense. We were side swiped with this whole thing, right? So lockdowns and just heavy-handed things going on heavy-handedly, even though this pandemic was downgraded and it's been hidden in the website. So go to the Charlie Ward channel if you want to find out exactly how to find that, because he actually lays it out in one of his, I can't remember exactly which, it was about 3 or 4 videos ago, but the guy puts out videos, a lot of videos. So I'm not sure exactly, but look around in the last week on Charlie Ward, because he even has a link, I think, in that video to find where they actually downgraded this thing on the WHO website to basically this about the same as a common cold, if you can believe that. And I know a lot of people are going to argue about that. Having had it, maybe they experienced some really severe things, but they downgraded it, right? And they've also put out more accurate numbers just recently. I think it was September 1st, really late at night, or on the 31st of August, really late at night. There was something went out even in mainstream that took the numbers way down and said, actually, here's a more accurate number count on deaths directly related, because they admitted that there was a lot of things being called a death due to COVID and or the scary flu. And it turned out that it was found that they were lumping a lot of things in, just like we've been saying all along on lots of different channels. Yeah, so interesting, right? You know, and somebody warned me in one of my comments, and a couple of different people emailed me and said, I'm on some list of people to shut down because I, you know, talk pretty much smack about the pandemic, right? So I just, let's say I tell truths about it. Okay, and what I say to that is actually all of us have a really good case. We could do a huge world case and or even community by community. We should all be suing our governments because they had no right to take away livelihoods, social life, and scare the heck out of us, okay, like they did over something that was downgraded in March, and it's been completely blown out of proportion. So I say to them, bring it on, try shutting me down, because, you know, really we should all be suing. Honestly, I was thinking I'm going to sue my municipal government because of their ridiculous rules. Okay, they've ruined, okay, if I was going to date this year, they've ruined it because I couldn't go anywhere for months. And then wearing a mask is not very conducive to sort of first dates. And like, they've ruined my love life. Okay, so this year was the year I was going to launch getting back on the scene. And well, that went south. Pandemic just turned it, like all these ridiculous lockdowns just ruined it. So as far as I'm concerned, if we got really creative, they've taken away our rights without really any good reason. And they've taken away people's economic means, the ability to work, the ability to socialize, see your elders off. Say you wanted to go visit them. So a lot of people's elderly parents and grandparents passed away without them being able to visit. So many things. They've ruined people's not just social lives, but in fact way of life, okay, over something that looks like it was put out by humans, manipulated by humans, and then I think placed into little pockets, some more than others. In particular, like if you look at how dramatic the whole thing was in certain areas in the world, and then really almost no cases in other places really close by. It obviously was something sort of planted in places. That's becoming really obvious. It's almost like the whole 9/11 thing. So the 9/11 thing happens and all these rules, all of a sudden we have like the whole world's in fear, like everything changes in our lives in a subtler way than this, but like the way we go through airports has never gone back really, and all kinds of things happen, and thousands and thousands and thousands of people passed over, okay, and it was actually, and it's become clearer and clearer every year since then, that was done by the very people that called, what's that word when you call wolf, right? The very people, that were yelling about it's this person and that and these people over here in some other country. It was actually an inside job, and it was done by the very government at that time. Okay, so that's pretty much a known thing. And if you don't believe me, there is so much evidence out there. And I think that'll come to light even by Christmas. I think you're going to know for sure if you don't know now. But anyway, do your own research on that. It's everywhere. Just look around. Okay, this is another one of those situations. We've got something that was put out by humans, manipulated by humans. It might have started out being a virus, okay, a natural virus, but then it was manipulated. And it looks like the plan is so it's absolutely a plan to go ahead and get these vaccines out there and make them mandatory. That's definitely the plan, like getting back to the question, right? Okay. But it looks like we, the people who have been lambasted with this whole situation, broadsided with it, okay, with the incredible lies and fears. Okay, we've got the emperor. So we're actually going to resist. It's going to take a really long time for them to convince us, and we're going to make them rework and rework and rework those, like they're going to try to rush it, but it's not going to work. So the whole, we're going to get this vaccine, or sorry, this vax, I'm even like screwing up over here. We're going to get this, out there really too fast. Yeah, of course, they've got that in the plan. Absolutely. They want to get it out in the next 3 months, even make it mandatory. Absolutely. But it doesn't look like we're going for it here. A whole bunch of things are happening that feel like changes the course. It changes the direction and puts a big old wrench in the plan. So that was the plan for sure. They wanted to give us mandatory. It's already been done. I think this was created 3 years ago by the look of that card. And so that's the plan, but I feel like we're going to say no. First of all, they're going to run into a lot of resistance from just regular folks. And I feel like their plan's going to fail miserably. It's going to fail. So be patient. A whole bunch of things are going to happen in the next 2 or 3 months. And this won't come to fruition. Their plan won't come to fruition. Okay. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it's going to be stopped. And not just from us, but from outside influences too, because the Wheel of Fortune is, it's not the destiny of humans right now for this to happen. It's not in the cards. I am so happy to see that, because I was worried about it too. But it looks like, no, they're not going to be able to get away with it. Wow. Okay. Excuse me for being a little sassy tonight, but I had a really, really rough Pisces full moon. It was crazy. And I was like, and sometimes all of a sudden I get all my ego back and then I get super sassy. Let's look at going forward. So I know I've been looking at this a lot, but the next 3 months are super important, it seems. September, October, November, partly because of the U.S. elections, partly because of everything sort of coming to, it was like, we looked at it a month ago, I think it was, and we were looking at it like the calm before the storm, but we're like in the eye of the storm, and it's about to be a number 5 hurricane or whatever they call it. Like, it feels like it's about to hit the ground running here in September. A whole bunch of things. We're going to get lambasted with a whole bunch of things. Just, it's almost like this silent war is going to get noisier. Right? Yeah, because it's the final battle or something. That's what it feels like to me. So let me know in the comments how it feels to you. And let me just look at the next 3 months and just see what I get around it. So it's good news. It doesn't look like the V is going to go forward the way they want it to and the way the plan is. Okay, but that thing was created a long time ago. You better believe it. What a manipulation. But let's have a look at... so I'm gonna stop worrying about that, and I highly recommend everybody else does. Like, be strong, and when you are faced with it in your community, say no. Absolutely say no. And there's all kinds of things online you can find that'll help you and back you up with that no. All kinds of things. Just don't let them get away with it. Looks like we're going to do that very thing. We're going to stop being sheep. Isn't that amazing? That is so exciting to me. I am so happy. Okay, now let's look at just the next 3 months. What can we expect as a huge world community? Because that's what we are right now. We're a world community in a silent war. And it's absolutely fascinating times, and kind of scary, but I know it's a corny saying, but we are in this together, and I'm hoping that, we're going to stay connected online. Our online connection is really important, and it's really important that we're kind with each other in the comments and as a community, and just try to be supportive to those that are just waking up, because a lot of people are about to, whether they like it or not, wake up to a whole bunch of information. If what we've been getting is true, Okay, for months and months, we've been getting that a lot of the things, that have been put out there, that we've been reading, that Q was putting out, maybe not every single thing, but a lot of the things that we believe to be true are not true about people we trusted, okay? We're finding out that the deep state and that dark cult is real, and it's horrific and 10 billion times worse than we ever could have imagined, and was like one step from owning the entire world, already owned all the banking, all the media, and all the tech companies, okay? And was able to even put upon the world something as horrendous as a pandemic and shut down the entire world, okay? So if that doesn't tell you, there's power there. And then there's this other power been working in the background, apparently for years, and apparently since 9/11. So look into some of that, by the way, some of that 9/11 stuff. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you better catch up with some homework, because that's everywhere. You can read, there's entire books written about how that couldn't have possibly happened the way they said it did. And it's just honestly common sense. Just use your common sense. Look at all the evidence. It is so obvious that was a huge orchestration by the very government that was in place at the time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable they do that to their own people, but yeah, they did. So now let's have a look at just the next 3 months. What can we expect? Wow, that devil shows up. What else is new, right? The devil loves to show up in these. So we've got the Eight of Swords as us, and that we're in the dark. There's so much going on that we don't know about. And there's this Three of Pentacles in the background. So things have been in motion and planned for this very thing and everything that's happening right now on both sides of what I'm going to call this silent war. Okay, on both sides, so the one side that let's call them the white hats, have been planning to take down, the Federal Reserve, which, by the way, there's nothing federal about the Federal Reserve, so look into that. The banking system that's been illegal for years and operating illegally, okay? And, pillaging humans all over the world in unbelievable ways with unbelievable amounts of debt, just piling debt on, especially middle class and poor peoples. Anyway, we're not gonna get into that, but what I'm getting is this has been a really long planning on both sides, thank goodness, in a way, because the white hats have been onto this, what the black hats have been doing for a really long time. So I feel like we got equal energy here, and from what I'm getting and what we've been getting for quite a while, it looks like a win for the white hats. And we're not sure the white hats are 100% everything we want, right? We're gonna don't make them your heroes going forward. Who my heroes are the actual Marines and people's enlisted to literally going into tunnels where there is abducted and even raised up children and humans that have been living underground, but not just in containers. They've been kept in, trafficked peoples, and in particular children and babies, trafficked mothers that birth children for heinous ritual use, and the basic profiting from human flesh that's been going on. Okay, that part in that is where I'm the warrior. Okay, so I'm the warrior. So anyone who had anything to do with helping to stop that is okay with me. Okay, and anybody who frontline was working and in any capacity helped that stop and helps that stop going forward, they're my heroes. Those are my people that I'm giving love and energy to. That is immeasurable good karma, and they got my love and respect. Okay, but anybody politically around this, I don't automatically turn into a hero. So just be aware of that and be careful, because you don't want to give away your power again, because we don't know. We have to watch and see what these, the upper echelon of the white hats, who are they and what's their policies and what's their vision for the world. That's where I'm careful. I'm not just going to blindly give away my power to anybody ever again. And I highly recommend everybody thinks that way. Okay. Right. But if they turn out to be good people going forward, and they have some good values to put forward to us all, and we agree with those values, great. Right. Great. Because we're going to need leaders. Okay. But if that's not the case, we need to be very careful and look at who do we want leading us. Because yes, we're going to need leaders, absolutely. So it's going to be a lot of work going forward. It's not just the end of it. Draining a swamp isn't just the end, right? Yeah. Now we got to grow things up again in a healthy way, right? Thinking about that. Anyway, so it looks like, to me, it looks like we can expect it to get sort of a big ugly, and a lot of stuff revealing itself in the next 2. A lot of things we don't know about is going to come to the surface. And like a lot of people are saying, we won't know all of it, but we're going to know, some percentage of it, that more than we know now, because we don't know much now. We don't know. We're just scratching the surface. But over the next 2 months, it looks like a lot of really, really, really dark things are going to come to our awareness. And we're going to have to deal with it. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. Things that have been going on for a very long time. Deep, demonic things. Things that you never thought in the whole world you'd have to look at or think about. So just saying, be prepared. Okay. So give that, prepare yourself. Only take it in small amounts if it's too much and overwhelming. Be in nature, smudge, salt baths if it's becoming overwhelming. Take care of yourself, listening and hearing. Once things start to really come out, we're going to need to take care of ourselves so we're not overwhelmed. And a lot of us have already gone through the overwhelming part, trust me, right? Some of us already, it's been overwhelming and we've had to deal with it. So when newbies at this start getting red pilled, it's going to be intense. Okay, so we're going to have to be patient and kind, and let people take their time absorbing what we've been looking at for 6 months. They're going to get it all slapped on them, or a big portion of it, and so it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. Okay. Now we've got this 2 of Swords here. So we've got the 2, and then it feels like just before the elections, I'm going to say, because in 2 months, and then all of a sudden everything goes really quiet again. So that's interesting. I feel like some things come out and they red pill a lot of people, and then it goes quiet again. Okay. Just to make, I guess, just in time for the elections, it looks like. So we've got the 9 of Cups and a whole lot of, stress and worry. Then everybody looks like they're focused on, in the world, focused on the US elections, which I know it'll be like that. It'll be a huge focus, right? Yeah. So it's going to be very tricky. It feels like there's going to be a woman, it looks like, running against Trump. So that's interesting. Yeah, that'll happen right out of the blue. Within 2 months, we'll know what that's all about. So that must have something to do with, looks like in the Biden camp, maybe Kamala gets put forward. I don't know. Something happens to Biden, maybe. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Something right at the last minute happens and Trump's up against a woman, it looks like. Wow. They step a woman in there. I wonder if it automatically becomes Camilla or is it somebody else? I don't know how it works, or let me know in the comments. But yeah, there's going to be a woman. She looks very like fierce. Wow. Okay. So we've got 9. Ace. There's still so many moves here, all surrounding the election. So I'm not going to predict the election here because there's so many things have to play themselves out before the cards are even going to give me any. There's no clear definitive answer on election. So I'm sorry, I'm not going there with this because yeah, it feels like there's going to be some really wild turns. There's like some hair turns, I'm going to say, like hairpin, is that what they call it? Hairpin turns here. That really big surprises, really big reveals. Somehow a woman's running against Trump here. Wow. Lots of trickery. Oh my goodness. Wow, wow, wow. So hold on to your hats. But good news is we're not getting the V word. Not unless we let them. So be strong there. Because they don't get to push that on us. So that's good news. And there's going to be huge reveals in the next 2 months that could be horrific and difficult. And a lot of people get red pilled, and that could be hard, like that different people react different ways. And the thing people hate most is being fooled. It feels like the magician there, so the mainstream media is still largely pumping out fear and total nonsense. So don't buy into them. Find your favorite YouTubers and keep an eye on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm thinking, yeah. I'd stay away from Facebook these days because nothing true gets through on Facebook. It gets monitored, shipped off, Yeah, it's horrifying. Okay, so here 5 and 6 are the 6. Things are going to work out in that where the information comes out. I don't think it'll be so overwhelming that we're in absolute shock, but some people might be. So just take care of your friends, your family, be patient, kind, but firm and good boundaries around the V situation. Go back to the beginning of this if you don't know what I'm talking about with the word V. Okay, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that was helpful. Have an awesome day sending your ravens, and like, share. Sharing is really good, by the way.